Good morning, guys. Hi. It's me, Nurtured Productivity. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, I already know. Yes, I am on this YouTube journey. I did take a break. Look, I just started and I took a break already, right? No, I just took a moment because I really wanted to get a microphone. So, guess what? I got a microphone because that video sound was not what I wanted, okay? So, anywho, we're here today to talk about. It's probably gonna have to be a part one and a part two. I'm just super giddy, you guys. Trust me, I'm mature. I promise you, I'm mature. Okay, no, but basically, I want to talk about my experience living abroad. And I do want to preface by saying that this was my experience that I had almost 8 years ago. Okay, I've been home going on 8 years. I've been back from living abroad for almost 8 years. I left in August of 2015 and I returned in October of 2017. Okay. And we'll get into why I had to come home, and all of that good stuff. But I do want to start by saying, cheers. I have my coffee here. Yes, yes, I have my coffee here. And so join me in having some coffee and a chit chat about living abroad in the Middle East. So I lived over in Doha, Qatar. Now people know all about it, okay? Everyone, when I was there 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, when I told people I lived in Qatar or I lived in the Middle East, I got a lot of, huh? Where? Who? Dubai? I mean, literally, if I said Qatar, people said they responded with Dubai. It was like, that's all they heard was Dubai. I'm like, no, I said Qatar. Qatar and Dubai, totally different countries. Um, so there, yes, there are Muslim countries, but they operate very differently. So we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about my work experiences and the work opportunities I had because although I lived abroad, I didn't live a nomadic life abroad. I did work there while I was there. I worked every day. I worked every day. So I want to talk about my work experience. I want to talk about in this video, I'll talk about my work experience and my accommodations. Let's go there. And then in the next video, in part two of this video, I'll talk more about the cultural adaptations and things of that nature. Sorry, got someone tried to call. Yes, I'm still using my phone. Not still. I don't want to say still because many people use their phone. I'm using my phone to record this video. Okay, so let's jump into work. Let's go there. Let's jump into work because work leads to accommodations. Okay, so as you guys know, I've been an educator for over 20 something years. Okay, and as a matter of fact, it's like, yeah, I mean, going in now that school has resumed, I am in year 23 basically, which is unbelievable. But anywho, so and I'm a special education teacher. Special education is my background, and I went over there to be a special education coordinator. And it's actually called a special education needs coordinator, so a SEN coordinator. Y'all, am I sweating, girls? I didn't got hot talking, okay? I didn't got too excited. Okay, excuse the sweat on the brow. And I didn't want to turn the fan on or the AC because it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't want to turn the AC on, and I also didn't want to turn the fan on to because there's background noise. But anyway, side note. So, like I said before, so I went over there to be a teacher. I worked at an American private school, meaning that all of our teachers were from all over the world, literally from all over the world. We had teachers from America, we had teachers from Africa, we had teachers from Australia, we had teachers from Canada, we had teachers from Ireland, from other parts of the UK. I mean, like literally all over the world. Okay, and so in the Middle East, and that's just a whole nother topic. In the Middle East, they do have a large population of children and adults with disabilities. So, however, I worked at an American private school. Our work week was from Sunday to Thursday because Muslims, their religious day is on Friday. So, our weekend was on Friday and Saturday. and our work week, our work week started on Sundays. So we would go to work. We had to get up and be there. As a matter of fact, my school provided transportation for us, and so we had to be at our bus. Okay, and the bus came and picked us up from our apartment complex and took us to work every day. Took us to work and brought us back home every day. And so we had to be on the bus at 6:30 because it took about 45 minutes to get to the school, because the school was in another city, in the city called Alwakra. So there's that. So we were at work. I worked with some amazing people. One of the ladies that I first worked with in the department, she was also from America. She's a wonderful woman. Hey, girl. She kind of taught me the ropes, from coming over there and coming from America. We have these ideologies and our experiences, and then we go there and things are completely different, culturally, educationally. So it was really different, but I was glad that she was there because she was able to kind of show me the ropes and how it works over there in the Middle East. Okay, so there was that. I won't name the school. It's a very popular international school. But there are many schools over in Qatar. There are many international schools, and there are many opportunities to go over there and teach. If you're an elementary school teacher, you can go over there and teach elementary. If you're a high school teacher, a single subject teacher, that is all available there. Most people think when I say, yeah, I went to go teach abroad, they automatically think that I went to go and teach English. And let me tell you, although they are an Arabic speaking country, that most people speak English as well, right? They have a huge expat community with people who are working not just in education, they're working in oil and gas, they're working in the health industry. There's so many different industries to work at. Some are teaching at some of these satellite American university campuses, as college professors. People are over there, getting higher education, higher ed degrees. So there's a variety of opportunities to pursue your career. You're not going over there to speak English. I don't even know if that is something that's offered there. I'm sure there's some ESL schools or classes somewhere, but that's not something that came up. Most people were actual credentialed teachers in their home country, in their field, and would come over there and teach high school counseling, guidance counseling. That was another growing area while I was there. And the school that I worked at, we had preschool all the way, at that time I think it was preschool all the way up to 9th grade or 10th grade. I think they've expanded now, but then they were adding on a grade level every year. And the school that I worked at, when I started, it was its second year in operation. Okay, so we were like the sophomore class. There was a freshman class that came before us, and we were the sophomore class. So, and we were kind of grouped like that. It was really an interesting dynamic of how it worked. It was like the freshman class, like that first year, people who came and started working there, they had their little group, and then the next group of people came in. We had our group, and we had our culture and the way that we did things based on how we were starting to adapt to the country. Okay, so there's the school part of it. Okay, so I didn't live a nomadic life. I was working from being at work from 7:30, and I believe our bus picked us up at 4. If I can remember right, it was either 4 or 4:15. So it was a busy, long day, okay? It was a busy, long day of real productive work, okay? Now, side note, most schools provide accommodations, okay? Most schools are going to provide accommodations. Those accommodations look different for every school, okay? For every organization, the accommodations are going to be different. We were very fortunate we had 2 different places of which we could live. Most people all lived in this one area. These were brand new, beautiful apartment buildings. Okay, we had like a block long apartment complex, and when I say, because it went the what's this, the horizontal way, is that right? Yeah, it was, yeah, horizontal. It was literally like a block or 2 blocks long of, and we lived in different buildings. And let me tell you, the apartment that I lived in was a brand new, no one had ever lived there, 2 bedroom furnished apartment. I'm going to learn how to insert clips in here, and I might have to do that in my part two, just depending on how this editing process goes. But however, yeah, so I had a brand new apartment, fully furnished, 2 bedrooms, everything was brand new. When we arrived at the apartment, they had, like real basic necessities for you to have until you were able to get to the grocery store and, to wherever you needed to go. So when you come into the kitchen, there was a coffee pot, or kettle. There was a kettle. Okay, there was a kettle that you would use to boil water, because instant coffee is huge, abroad. And so there was a kettle. There was also, like cereals, cereal, just like real basic, some sugar, some cream, some butter, some, I think it was, I don't know if there were eggs, but, just real basic necessities to kind of get you going until you're able to get to the store the next day or the following days to come. But yes, so so that I lived it was beautiful. Okay. Um, so that's the work part of it, as far as like the job. Okay, I'm like, I know I'm forgetting something, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm forgetting. But anyway, so like I said, I did not have a roommate. Some schools have accommodations where you have to share. Our school gave us a choice. Okay, they gave us a choice that if you wanted to live alone or if you wanted to have a roommate. Of course, I opted for living alone, and I'm so glad I did. But people who share roommates, it either worked out or it didn't work out. You know how that goes. So, yeah, it was really, I was shocked. Okay, when I arrived, I was shocked at what my accommodations were. I could not believe that God had blessed me the way that He did, because going over there, my expectations weren't necessarily high. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but once I got there, I couldn't believe what I walked into. I walked in, I was like, "This is for me," and I was stunned. Honestly, I was stunned because I did not know that I was going to be living like this, like living good. And we'll talk about the cultural part of it and what I mean by living good. As far as like, I mean, I went from a 1 bedroom apartment here in America to a brand new 2 bedroom apartment that was paid for. And that's another part about the job, and the whole part of accommodations is that my accommodations were completely paid for. I didn't pay any rent. Of course, it works out in its salary, and, because I earned a salary, we were paid monthly. I had a bank account over there, had an ID card. I had all of the things in order to function, because you have to have those things. I had a Qatari ID. I still have my Qatari ID. And I had a bank account. We had bank cards, all of that good stuff. And only thing that I paid for in my apartment was internet. And if I remember correctly, we paid that. You kind of like pay it up front. Um, or maybe it was monthly. I can't really remember, but I feel like there was like you paid up front for whatever, and that was internet. And beyond, and even like the first maybe month or two, I was using a hotspot. Okay, until I got wiser, more comfortable. Once you start adapting, you get more comfortable, and I got internet. And once I got internet, and let me tell you guys this, we're talking about 2015, right? The year 2015. That's when I really got into YouTube, is because, at that time, all of the American television wasn't available. The country is a Muslim country. They monitor and they block certain movies because they're not about that, sex scenes and, kissing, any type of intimacy, public intimacy. That's a no. And so any movies or television shows that, feature that, you weren't allowed. So you had to learn how to, get a VPN and, work around that in order to watch TV. However, one thing that did come up was YouTube. And that's when I really got into YouTube and realized that people were out here making videos and vlogging and makeup and yada yada yada. I was like, whoa. So that was my introduction to YouTube at the level of which I know it now. So yeah, so I know that there are more questions. I know that there's more than I can talk about. I'm trying to recall, I have my notes right here, but I'm trying to recall details. I really want to insert pictures so you can get a real visual of work and my accommodations, because we're going to start there, and then next time we'll talk about the cultural adaptations and the fun and the travel that came with living in Qatar. But it's a beautiful country, and I know it's even more beautiful now. 7 to 8 years later, they hosted the World Cup. What, a couple years ago? Was it in 22? I think. FIFA. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember the year right now, but I know it was recently. And they were building all of the infrastructure for that because they knew that it was coming. So while I was there was a lot of construction going on. I'm pretty sure there's still construction going on, but I know that those areas that were going up when I was there are done now and functioning well. You can really live good over there. You have to manage, you have to budget, but you can live. And things could be different now. And I really can't speak to now. I can't speak to now. I can only speak about the experience that I had. But I do want to share more about this experience about working and living abroad. I do encourage you, if you have the opportunity to do so. This is not pressure, none of that. But if you have the opportunity, however you can do it, if you are a nomadic entrepreneur or nomadicpreneur, or you living abroad doing your best life, whatever it is, living it, however you do it, I do recommend having that opportunity. If you stay a month, 2 months, 3 months, just to immerse yourself in living out of America, right? But anyhow, we'll talk about that another time. All right, guys, I gotta go. But I hope you enjoyed this introduction to my experience of living abroad. I can't wait to share more. Actually, drop me some questions in the comments if so we can keep this conversation going more fruitful. Okay, so if you need to just ask me some questions if you have some. Let's get this conversation going. I would love to hear about your experiences if you lived abroad and worked abroad in any country. Okay, I really just want to thank you for tuning in. I would really love it if you would subscribe, if you would like my video, and I will see you in part 2. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.